See John chapter 17 verse 6. I have revealed you to those whom you gave me out of the world. They were yours. You gave them to me and they have obeyed your word. The crown of righteousness was reserved for Paul, because he was the first to preach the word of God's righteousness. Remember, God judges completely according to righteousness, and the word of righteousness is the two-edged sword from the mouth of Jesus Christ. The Son of Man in heaven, that is, the word of righteousness and deviation from the word of righteousness in its entirety. The crown of righteousness is reserved for Paul, which means that he who has to be shepherded and fed will be complete and perfect. Why is God's righteousness denied and blasphemed by the Pharisaical system? It was because they took the word that deviated from the right way as the right way. And they took the right way as deviating from the right way, so they denied that Jesus Christ came in the flesh. What does it mean to come in the flesh? For example, like Paul, after he gave his life to be crucified with Christ for the love of his brothers and for the love of all people, the Spirit of Christ was living in Paul. Galatians chapter 2 verse 20. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. In the same way Jesus, the Son of Man, chose John Sr. to shepherd the sheep of Christ. He chose John Sr. on the island of Patmos to preach the word of revelation to the 7 churches through the incarnation of John Sr. But the 7 churches denied the Spirit in him and denied that Jesus Christ came in the flesh, because the Antichrist spirit in them told them not to recognize such a thing. 1 John chapter 4 verse 1-6. Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. But every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. They are from the world and therefore speak from the viewpoint of the world, and the world listens to them. We are from God, and whoever knows God listens to us, but whoever is not from God does not listen to us. This is how we recognize the spirit of truth and the spirit of falsehood. He who knows God obeys us. We means that John Sr. knew that Paul, who was first among the first, and one more, would be the 7 stars chosen by the right hand of Christ in the Gentiles. See Revelation chapter 1 verse 10. On the Lord's day I was in the Spirit, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet. Verses 12-13. I turned around to see the voice that was speaking to me. And when I turned I saw 7 golden lampstands. And among the lampstands was someone, like a son of man, dressed in a robe reaching down to his feet and with a golden sash around his chest. Verses 16-20. In his right hand he held 7 stars, and out of his mouth came a sharp double-edged sword. His face was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead. Then he placed his right hand on me and said, "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, and behold I am alive forever and ever. And I hold the keys of death and Hades. Write, therefore, what you have seen, what is now and what will take place later. The mystery of the 7 stars that you saw in my right hand and of the 7 golden lampstands is this. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches." John chapter 10 verse 16. "I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd." The phrase, "one flock to one shepherd," means that the 3 who are in the first enclosure can reveal the fullness and completeness of God's righteousness. The 7 stars are now the messengers who feed the sheep of Christ, and will tell all the visionary parables to all God's voters. See John chapter 16 verse 25. "Though I have been speaking figuratively, a time is coming when I will no longer use this kind of language but will tell you plainly about my Father." Verse 33, "I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." The elect of God should walk in the image and likeness of these 3.